Wherever wealth resides, someone will try and steal it. That's what Nelson taught us. And I want you to think about what are some of the things that are going on in Canada today. They're finding ways to encourage you to store money and hold money in prisons. And obviously there's, regardless of political leanings, there's tax hikes, the cost of goods. I'm sure you've seen this in Canada. We're going to talk about getting into the grocery store business. Now, again, like I said earlier, you might be thinking, why are we talking about grocery stores when I came here to learn how to become my own banker? Let's get into it. If you're getting into the grocery store business, to create this analogy to help understand the process of banking, we want to consider a business in which we are both a consumer as well as a seller of the product. So if I owned the grocery store, I'm a captive customer. I'm obviously going to go and shop at my own grocery store rather than somebody else's. And then I have other customers who are going to come in and do the same. My market is unlimited. I need to use groceries, and everyone else has the need for the use of groceries. And someone has to perform the distribution function. Just like banking, we all have the need for the use of money in banking, and someone has to perform that function. Now, if you're going to get into the grocery store business, much like your real estate investors and the process of becoming your own banker, you're going to study the business for a couple of years. You're going to learn how this actually works. You're going to purchase a superior location. How does that work with real estate? The cliche, the most important 3 rules are location, 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 right? So you want to have a good location. You want to purchase an attractive building, right? So that people see it and they go, oh, I want to check that out. And you want to stock the shelves with high quality merchandise, because people come in and they see that merchandise and they want to buy it. Now, the grocery store, a lot of people don't know that the yields on the groceries, the goods, are not very high. It's all about volume. You need to turn that inventory 15 times just to break even. If you turn it 17 times, you're going to be profitable. And if you can turn it 20 times per year, you could retire early. Isn't that good? So are you hearing, like, we're turning the profit over? What's happening with the circulation of money? Just recycling those dollars. So we're starting to see how the grocery store frames up the process of banking. Now, you can see my nice illustration here. Now we're going to use, there's a lot of different inventory in grocery stores, but we're going to use a can of peas for this example. You can see that there's the front door over here. We have the front door, and then we have the back door where the inventory comes in. So this is the storeroom here. And then here's our shelves, and people are going to come through the front door and they're going to do their shopping and go down the aisles. And then once they filled up their cart, they're going to pass by their cash register and go out the front door, right? Now, these cans of peas are being sold for 60 cents per can, and then take that capital and recycle it through the business and purchase more inventory so that more cans of peas can come in so we can sell more and create more profit. Now, in this example, these cans of peas are being purchased for 57 cents, 57 cents per can. I think it's a no-brainer that we can agree that if we have our own grocery store, there's no way on earth you'd be shopping at someone else's grocery store. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Absolutely. Now, if you're shopping at your own grocery store, you're the boss. You set the rules. You get to do what you want to do. You're purchasing the inventory at wholesale cost at 57 cents per can. Now, in my family, I am so lucky that my wife does the grocery shopping. My wife's going to go shopping at our own grocery store. Is my wife, because she can do what she wants to do, is she going to fill up that grocery store and go out the back door so that we paid only the wholesale cost? Or is she going to fill up the grocery store and go out the front door and pay retail just like everybody else? What happens is, in business, is a lot of times business owners trick themselves into thinking that they have this advantage of being able to access goods at wholesale cost. But we're not going to access the goods at wholesale cost, because just think about this for a moment. If you pay 57 cents per can, well, where are you going to make up that cost? You're using that inventory. You're robbing from your own business. You have to sell 20 more cans of peas for every 1 can of peas that you use just to make up for what you used, because you lost that profit. So what Nelson taught us is, if we go out the front door, not only are we going to pay retail cost, we're going to pay 60 cents for the cans of peas and pump that energy right back into our own system so that we can create more inventory to generate more profit. In fact, what would happen if instead of just paying 60 cents, what if we put 62 cents, an extra 2 pennies in the cash register? That's going to allow us to be able to access even more inventory to sell to more captive customers to create even more profit so that we can retire early. Imagine if you were practicing this concept and putting all that energy back into your own store and allowing your business to be more profitable. How are the books of your business going to look compared to the grocery store down the street 15 years later or 20 years later when you go to sell the business? Your business is going to be a lot more profitable. So once you understand the grocery store example, the rest of the process of becoming your own banker is going to be ridiculously simple. So what is Nelson saying by that? Well, I'm building this banking system using these very specially designed dividend paying whole life policies at a mutual insurance company. And I'm accessing policy loans to achieve my objectives in my own life. And I'm going to pay back what I used. I'm going to replace that inventory, those cans of peas, right? I'm going to pump that energy right back into the business and I'm going to pay it back with interest. I'm going to put more money back into my own system so that I have more capital to access and do more things with next time. And that the life insurance company has more use and control over that money so that they can grow more profit and share with you and I. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to focus some energy on understanding the problem, identifying the problem. Let's take a bit of a deeper dive here. Now, wherever wealth resides, someone will try and steal it. That's what Nelson taught us. And I want you to think about what are some of the things that are going on in Canada today. They're finding ways to encourage you to store money and hold money in prisons. And obviously there's, regardless of political leanings, there's tax hikes, the cost of goods. I'm sure you've seen this in Canada. My wife tells me all the time, like, oh my gosh, she comes home and tells me about one product that she bought, a month, 2 months, 3 months ago, that's increased by 20, 30, 40% in cost, or they've downsized the size of the portion that you're purchasing. So it's happening right now before our very eyes. So these are some headlines that were posted during and before the pandemic in the last few years. So if you want to save the economy, start with the $150 billion that Canadians will save during the pandemic. Toronto Star, December 1st, 2020. The deficit will rise to almost $82 billion. The Financial Post, November 30th, 2020. Now, Statistics Canada is about to require Canada's 9 largest banks and credit unions to turn over highly sensitive data without the customer's knowledge. That means that every deposit, withdrawal, overdraft fee, credit card fee, every charge, mortgage payment, and more, essentially your life will be laid to bear for government bureaucrats to look over. And let's face it, again, they're looking for opportunities there, right? Because someone's got to pay the bill for all of this money printing that's going on. COVID-19 bill would give the liberals power to raise taxes without parliamentary approval until the end of 2021. National Post, March 24th, 2020. Now, the question is, who is the banker in your life today? I.e., who has the control, right? Who has the privacy, that sort of thing. Now, let's take our time and think about just basics, simple stuff. What's happening day in, day out, whether you're a real estate investor or just somebody, working hard, a consumer, feeding their family, doing all those things, financing cars, paying mortgages. You earn an income. And that money, not only does it get deposited, it must get deposited. It gets deposited into where? Someone else's bank. Let that sink in for a moment. These words, someone else's. Well, if it's someone else's bank, who's making all the rules? Who has use and control and access to the hard-earned money that you worked for, that you deposited? Someone else. Then what you do is you need to go and access that money to pay your bills. And once you access the money to pay your bills, you access this much money to pay your bills, you permanently transfer it away. And what you've given up is the opportunity to access this money and turn it into more. Capital money has 2 values: the value of what it can buy today, pay the bills, and what it can earn in the future. And every single time we access our own cash to pay a bill, we've given up the opportunity to grow that money, but yet someone else's bank has already harnessed that energy. So we want to be the ones that are harnessing all that energy. In other words, you're doing all the work and everyone else is getting all of your money. How does that make you feel? If you let that sink in for a second, does it make you feel like this? Jim Carrey, great Canadian actor, one of our favorite people out there. It certainly makes me feel like this. When I really started to grasp this concept, I'll be straight, I got extremely frustrated and extremely annoyed. And I just wanted everybody to know about this. I wanted to shout from the rooftops. But unfortunately, when you shout from the rooftops, everybody thinks you're crazy. So I had to slow down. I had to be patient. I had to do some more reading and learn so that I could properly show people and walk them through the process and help them understand what's actually going on. Now, if the minority of people in the world accumulate and control the wealth, why do we continue to do what the majority of people do? So if the minority of people in the world control and accumulate the wealth, why do we continue to do what the majority of people do and we expect to get a different result? It's absurd. All we have to do is follow a process that actually works. Start following what the minority of people do. We can all do this. Now, if you understand the problem, you'll know exactly what to do and the solution will become clear. And as we said, the solution is the process of becoming your own banker, the infinite banking concept in Canada.